Hi everyone, it's Jan and I am back to share with you how I created these little dotted spotted pointilla backgrounds. I told you in a previous video that I had watched a gal named Chrissy Armstrong that used this technique to create backgrounds and just was fascinated with it and decided to play around with it. You can find her artwork on her channel at Chrissy Loves to Draw, and I'll put that on the screen so you can see and go check her out for yourself. But I created these backgrounds for these cards doing that, and I just think they're a great option. So I wanted to show you how I did that. And you start by stamping your image and coloring the image in. And I'm using Copic markers, but if you wanted to use colored pencils with Gamsol or watercolors, whatever your favorite way to color your images in is what you want to do. And for my technique, because I'm going to pop them up off of the background, you'll see in this one, I really was following what Chrissy had done pretty much to the point, and she would color her image and then go directly from on that piece of paper. But I have discovered that I really like creating them so that I can pop them up. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So you color your background, your image, and cut them out. And then you take the card that you are going to create your background on, and depending on what kind of background you want, you know, use cream or a real crisp white. But whatever your background is, it needs to be able to absorb a lot of color if you're working with the Copic. So don't use a thin cardstock, use a really good thickness. And then I'm using some repositionable dots tape to put her in there, and I just place her down. And now to create the background, I want to do both. I'm doing contrast. On this one, I basically used colors that were in this image for the background, but for this one, I created a contrasting background by going with blues and grays, and that because that is the opposite of the oranges on the color wheel. Okay, so I'm going to begin with BG quadruple 0, and to do this, you really want to think random and you want to get your pen straight up and down. I know that when we're coloring, we tend to be at an angle, but for this you want to be straight up and down because you want to make perfectly round dots. If you're using something like colored pencils to do this, which you totally can, you want to start with your larger circles towards the image and then make lighter circles, smaller circles as you go out. With the Copics or with some sort of marker, you can do this you can control it by the pressure of your pen. But if you're using pencils, you actually need to make the circles. So here we go. I'm going to push and then dot around, push and then put some dots, and this is unremarkable for the first couple of colors. And as you're closer to the image, give it a little push and then make smaller ones as you come, push and come out, push. And it's okay if you overlap. We're going to be putting so many colors down. And I may come back to that, but now going to go to BOOO. And folks, if you don't have all these colors of Copics, these just happen to be the ones that I had. So use what you have. The darker the color is, the less of the bigger dots you want and more of the smaller. because you really don't want any single dot to end up being super noticeable. We're creating a background or a backdrop for our sweet little Izzy here. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one, and I'm probably going to speed this up so that you can see it happen, but not have to deal with it in real life. I will stop and show you the marker that I'm using in between each one. Okay. Okay, stop for just a second and show you that I do actually have two fairly dark colors here. I have BG72 and BG18, and because this is such a delicate background, I don't want to overpower it, but on the other hand, I want to create a little bit of shading. And so with these, I'm going to put very small dots because I do want a touch of this color. I'm going to put very small dots on the side where my light source is coming in. I'm envisioning it coming this way. So I'm going to put a few over here because I want there to be continuity. But you'll notice they're very small and scattered apart. I want the entire background to have some color on it. So I'm going to go and take all of the colors that I've done and rework them, starting again with my lightest to my darkest. And I would go ahead and do the grass too. I will come back and do that. I will do that and I will come back.